This is The Red Lens. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Cris Von Erik, and this is The Red Lens. Franklin, how are you this evening?
I'm doing all right, man.
Sometimes when you've been around the block and you've been doing stuff, and you get to know different people, and it's not very often where you can kind of become like a mentor. And for these guys, God forbid, they have yours truly as a mentor. But I have to say that I was taken aback by these guys. Number one, by their age, because they're 18, 20s, they're young. But number two, I was also taken aback by their dedication and their desire to actually talk about red pill knowledge, learning how to be a better guy, not making mistakes in life. And the advantage that they have to do that right now is tremendous. And we're going to talk about them a little bit and what they're doing, in terms of getting started. And I feel like a proud papa or something.
There you go. That's good, then. I'm looking forward to this one.
So we're going to bring them up here one at a time. Here we go. All right, guys, what's up?
Hey,
How are you?
How are you guys?
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, good to see all of you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
It seems the man behind the mask just came out from protesting.
No, I just got back from work. Mate kudasai.
Oh, boy.
I don't want to know any details. So what's going on tonight, guys? How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. It's been a tough ride for all three of us because by the way, my name is Greg from New Jersey. I'm the host of Red Sings the Blues. I created the podcast with my two co-hosts right here. It's been a one bumpy ride for the last couple of weeks because we have been battling Anchor FM, which we used as our audio podcast platform. We had to move from Anchor to Zencast to then post up our stuff so you can find it on Zencast. YouTube actually just took down one of our videos because of a copyright infringement, when we all know well and good that the people that saw that content within the last 2 days deleted that content, because guess what we're doing? We're tackling the issues that we see on television, movies, pop culture. So we're going not the Donovan Sharp route, but it's more or less like the we see that like we're 90s kids. We grew up near the TV. So like you see all of this stuff being programmed on the television. So now we're in this thing where we as 20-year-olds, we're simping, we're beta bucks, we're all this stuff, and it's good. But let me let them talk, because I want to be fair to them as well.
All right, so man with a plan. What's your name?
I'm Lewis. I'm also from New Jersey, and I've recently graduated college, which was crazy. It's been just as hectic as like getting this whole podcast started. During this whole process of making the podcast, we were kind of like sculpting it. We were figuring out what we were going to talk about, what we were going to go over, and just overall like what we were going to do throughout the whole podcast. Which I think it's a nice way to. I think we've really come a long way with figuring it out.
That's great. And my protester, what is your name?
Hi, my name is Malik. I'm in the Navy Reserves and currently going back to college in September.
Oh, you're a Navy Reserve. I should shut my mouth, Franklin.
Well, you know what? As you always say, we always say thanks for your service, man.
No problem. Thank you for your support. I'm just trying to go back to Japan.
Oh, Japan. Go figure. We were just talking about the guy that couldn't make it tonight, that actually is running the course, John from Modern Life Dating. He lives over in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Doko desu ka? You
Yeah,
said
man.
which city?
he's in
I don't speak
Harajuku,
any
right?
other languages here, so
Yeah, he was asking where in Tokyo.
We're in Tokyo.
that's what Franklin was asking me, and I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
I think by his Instagram, I think it's Osaka. I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's Osaka.
Osaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Osaka's
lived
a
in Japan
hot
for
place.
4 months, so I won't dying to go back.
Leaving the country. Oh, leaving the country is like one of the best experiences anybody could ever do. Like leaving their home country and like visiting another country, it's just such an experience.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Well, yeah, not right now.
Things are a little different right now.
Oh man.
Now's not the time for that opportunity.
Unfortunately, it isn't.
Oh yeah, man. Shit. I want to go back to Mexico, man. Like I love Mexico, man.
I've
Good
never
food,
been
good.
there.
Oh, good man. Good food, good women. Oh my god, man. Like
You're right.
Yeah. I want to go back. I want to go back to England.
England's cool too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you guys have an Instagram page, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Instagram.com/Sings Red Blue.
Right.
And you can check us out on Zencast. Our YouTube page is still being constructed. We're still editing our videos as we speak. The last video that we posted again got copyrighted because Cartoon Network did not like that we were posting this type of stuff, and that's kind of the reason why we did it, is because we saw the need for 20-year-olds to get out of that kind of mindset that they're really programming us to do. Like when I talked to the three guys about it, like we had the same problems, not growing up, but like with women, and it's not that we hate women, we don't, but we value our time and we value ourselves more than we will ever value women, because guess what? It's like it's not, the red pill truly isn't about women, it's about you. Mm-hmm. And what you can do to better your own life. And that's what we're all about, because the three of us are always about self-improvement. Yeah, we're going to get a lot of stuff from every angle, and you know what? That's what we need, because when I made this podcast, when I was thinking about the podcast, like there is a general need for 20 guys in their 20s to start talking about the red pill, because unfortunately, and I don't want to be like that, I don't want to be the pessimist, like one day Cris Von Erik and Franklin are not going to be with us. I don't know when. I'm not saying, like I'm not putting that bad omen on you guys, but it's time for the younger generation to start talking about this type of stuff. Because if we're not talking about it, then we're screwing ourselves in the foot. Like we're really shooting ourselves in the foot. And the millennial generation, it ain't looking too good, because guess what? You're seeing these protests out here. You're seeing men just going on OnlyFans and all of this stuff. And it's time to, I'm not saying we're gonna be the guys to stop it, but we're raising awareness, and there's gonna be that one day where CBS, ABC, NBC, I don't know, World News Tonight, 60 Minutes, something's gonna happen where the red pill, the manosphere itself, it's gonna be on there. It's gonna be on there in this new world, I believe. And Cris Von Erik, guys like us, Donovan Sharp, MLD, Rollo Tomasi, I want to be part of that. I want to be one of those guys that was infamous for saying the exact same thing that you guys are saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My goal is to get on The View.
Oh God.
Oh.
Funny thing, Whoopi Goldberg actually lives in my town.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
Oh, that's right. She's in Jersey.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
I forgot she lives in Jersey.
She lives in New Ellen Park. It's right down the street.
Zach Braff and Lauren Hill live in myville in New Jersey.
I'm very happy to see a group of guys like you take up the mantle, take up the effort to doing it. And you're scratching the surface as to what Franklin and I really, this is almost now 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
Of what we've done already. So a lot of stuff is going to change. You're going to figure out what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
You're going to get down, like I said, I spoke to you offline about organizing your material, because that's the big thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys out here that, they can come on and they can blah, 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 but if you're not organized, I'm not saying you have to have a tremendous script or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to come on knowing what you're going to talk about for whatever it is, that particular topic, that particular night. You have to. I would strongly suggest to people that if you can afford to get a green screen or segment, the area that you're going to talk in to make it more visually appealing.
Yeah.
That's something you definitely want to work on, because after a while, your room, people are going to be like, all right, well, this guy's telling me about my life, but he's sitting in his bedroom.
Yeah. We know that. We know that.
I definitely see where you're. Yep.
Yeah, we're
okay.
Yeah, we're
So
definitely starting out.
It's
But we get what you're saying, man.
Contrary to belief, I'm really not on a beach right now.
Oh man, yeah. We definitely lots of stuff we are still investing in. Like we're. I mean, dude, it's like during this coronavirus thing, man. I was making about $30,000 a year, $45,000 a year. I work in New York actually. I'm a freelance guy. I work for many studios and stuff like that. So I was making buku amounts of money, and all that went back into taxes and all that stuff. But New York treated me good, well than New Jersey. But I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, this year was a really challenging year, and that's why I thought, why not start this podcast now in the most difficult time in human history? Because guess what, like, young men, and it goes back to like what we're seeing now is it's that young men aren't really, rising to that challenge. And you know what, like I can take what you're saying, Chris. Like I hear you. People don't see like everyone sees what you have, but they don't see how you got there. And I think, that's what I want to show everybody, that, what, as a young man, look, you can laugh at me all you want. This is my bedroom. All right. Like I'm not ashamed to say that. But you know what? Like in my bedroom, I have my equipment that's right here. I have my computer that's right up there recording this audio. And you know what? I'm still going to go for it. And you can laugh at me all you want. But 2 or 3 years from now, when we get a base really going and you see a bigger studio than this, guess who's going to have the last laugh?
There you go.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you this right now, no matter who they are, and again, you brought him up before, Donovan Sharp, a personal acquaintance of mine, you can see the genesis of where he began.
Yeah.
Almost 5 years ago. He's 5 years.
5 years, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and he started in a little apartment that had a little window, and people would joke around saying they could see the traffic and the people walking out behind them, down below.
I mean,
the Easter eggs.
Something to
Now
this.
he's got a tremendous place.
I mean, in New Jersey, since it's like it's almost Independence Day, and in New York and New Jersey, if you live in that tri-state area, you hear a lot of fireworks going off. Dude, like I can't fathom how many times we have recorded audio. And my engineer told me this too. Yo, man, like, what the hell is going on in your neighborhood? I'm like, yo, I can't ask people to stop doing fireworks because, well, I can't do that. Right. And they just been going off like every single night. I can't even sleep. But you can tell that like we're living somewhere that's not our home.
Right.
But that's the thing, and it's just like I said again, it's like these. And you know what? Like, I'm ready for the internet trolls. I'm ready for the feminists. Guess who comes out on top? Like, they don't understand that the more you click on the video, the more you get that out to people. The more you get that out to people, the more you dislike something, the more it's going to get out. The more you dislike something, the more it gets out, the more people watch it. It's capitalism, baby. It's how the market works. But what do I know, right?
I was actually going to upload just a 3-second thing saying I hate all women. It's good for like 10,000 views, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh my God.
And I think like I'll say this. It's easy to say what, I hate all women and stuff like that, and that's kind of going into like okay, like we're not feminists here. Like the three of us, we're not feminists. We don't agree with feminism at all. And the thing about it is that it's like but I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna give them the time of day. And that's hard to do because like there's a lot of guys in the red pill that are just like, well, these meathead red pill guys that are just like, well, like, yeah, I'm a grand old alpha and whatnot, and we're not like that. We're not like that.
We're
no, go ahead.
We're more realists.
Yeah, we're realists. We're the realists. Like, dude, okay, we get it. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. But what are you? And that's what we touch on. Like, we're building our value almost every single day, including on our podcast. Like, we do that every weekend. We're recording. We're making sure that everything goes out on time and stuff like that. And that takes that's building up our value. Like, the more times we talk, it builds up our value.
Right, and that's it. Somebody told me actually very recently. It's not about how long your videos are.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the content. It's about
Yeah.
what you are saying.
Yeah.
So just like you just said, take the time to mold what it is you guys want to talk about, and the message, specific on the episode you're doing, the podcast. What exactly are you trying to convey? Mm-hmm. And again, not being scripted, but
no.
have an idea where it's beginning and where it's going to end. It's difficult with 3 guys.
Yeah, of course it is. No, and that's exactly what we've been. That's what we've been doing for the past 2-3 weeks that we have been recording. Like, I have made like slides and bullet points that I go off of. We talk about what we're going to do. We treat this as a production because like just like the Red Lens, Red Sings the Blues is no different. We're a production, and we run just like that. I've been in a theater for I've been in theater since I was in middle school. So being in production meetings, building the sets, teching the stuff, and making sure everything is 100% is like I'm hard on these guys. Like, the both of them, like I know they're annoyed at me at some certain points, but It's because it's like I get no seriously, like I take production so freaking seriously, and it's like, like you gotta be serious about this, like, and that's just the thing. Like, we're serious about what we do, and we're serious about what we talk about, and it's important that young men are serious about something, because if you're not serious about something now, later you're not going to be serious about anything. Like, I know guys that I worked with that are in their 30s. I used to work at a pizza place in my town that's like not too far from here, and I still see those guys. Like, and I see this guy that's my age, and he's still there. Been there since he was a junior in high school. Still there, and I'm just like, yo, what are you serious about? Because this guy's got a college degree and everything. He's got it made. He got a free ride. I have to pay back loans, and I'm still struggling with that a little bit. But the thing about it is that, I took strides. Like, he can't say to me, yo, you're not doing anything. Guess where I am right now? Right. With 10 freaking subscribers. The Red Lens with Cris Von freaking Erik.
And you tell him. You can't handle the truth. You tell him.
Like, yo, extra cheese on my shit. He's like, why are you disrespecting me? I was like, because I don't respect you. I can't respect you. I can't respect you because you're not taking initiative in your life. You can tell me that you're doing it, but look where we are. Like,
not all that ambitious, right?
I wanted to ask each one of the guys individually.
Sure.
First, again, I'm not going to remember names, so I'll just say, man with the plan. Tell me what is your one kind of red pill story that got you to the point where you wanted to get involved and do this?
I would have to say when I started college. There were so many things that happened there were so many things that were basic eye openers for me. Like, there were I was surrounding myself with people that were constantly getting in relationships, and there was someone that I wanted to be in a relationship with at the time, but it didn't work out. I look back and think, wow, these were so many mistakes that I made in surrounding myself with these people and trying to get into a relationship. I was so focused on a relationship that I didn't think about, what's best for me, what will benefit me in the long run. And it wasn't until 2018 where I decided to wake up and realize, hey, this person doesn't benefit me. I'm wasting my time, because it was one particular person that I surrounded myself with for about 2 or 3 years. I admitted that I liked her. She didn't like me back. I at the time thought that a friendship could work. The friendship did not work, and it was proven time and time again that it did not work. But 2018 was the eye opener that I'm not supposed to keep somebody like this in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of stupid on my end, because I did something similar back in 2016 with another person, another girl. I wanted to date this girl. She liked me back. We knew each other since high school. I thought we were going to go somewhere, but it turned out like she didn't actually like me around that time. So I let it be. And I chose not to be friends with her either, because I didn't think it was good for my self-esteem in the long run, and I didn't want to lie to her about it. And the one thing that I want to express in this podcast is be honest with yourself and be honest with other people. Mm-hmm. Be honest with your intentions. And I speak from my personal experiences in order to, to explain why I preach this, why I think people benefit from this.
Well, you know what I'll say to you is there's actually what you're describing is actually something that's illustrated in a book called Mode 1 by Roger Allen Curry. That's the name of the author. And his whole motif and what he believes in is a Mode 1 approach, where you go in and, as you just said, you know exactly what you're about. You know what you want. You know what you're looking for that individual person. And you come out, and whether it's, you're at the bar, you're in the supermarket, wherever the hell you are going up there, and it's very quick, it's precise. Hey, I'm Joe. This is what I do. You're good looking, whatever. You're hot, whatever you want to say, and it's just like, you feel the same way. Oh no, okay. Either if they're not, you're out. You're out of there. You eject, or they basically are for it, and away you go. If they have any type of resistance, you're done. So I think that's a book that I would strongly suggest you reading, because it seems like what you're interested in, or at least your mindset is at right now, is that, not wasting time, which is a tremendous point. And I talk about that a lot on this program. The one thing a guy has that is finite is time. Okay, and you really don't want to waste that, especially on somebody that is not thinking the same way you are. So, man behind the mask, same question to you. Was there a particular moment or something happened?
Actually, like my colleague, man with the plan. Yes, I also surrounded myself with people who got in relationships a lot. It was mostly girls. Every single week and every single month, they had different boyfriends. And unfortunately, yes, like we talked on our podcast before, I was at Poodle. And I thought that maybe I would get my chance. And unfortunately, I learned that they never loved me. They just used me for my rides and my money. That was it. And I felt devastated. It was only until last year that I finally woke up. I got back from active duty, and my ex-girlfriend tried to mess with me. She messed with me bad, to the point where I psychologically broke down, because she broke up with her boyfriend. Then she was trying to get back with me. Then she went back to her boyfriend because she thought that I was going to marry her and move her on base, which that does not work. That's not what happens. It was only until I realized that, you know what, I was done. There was multiple girls that I was interested in the past, but you know what? It wasn't right. They never loved me. They only wanted me for my money. I'm not saying all women are bad. I'm just saying it's the type of class that you wouldn't want to avoid. My goal with this podcast, and especially for veterans getting out of active duty, or just young college kids or high school kids, they do not love you. They love the uniform, and that is it. That's something that's highly talked about. And another thing what opened my eyes was there was an incident, an when I was inactive, where a group of girls, actually it was this one girl, she hated this guy because apparently of his skin color. Then she gathered all the girls in our A school and made up a lie that he said something sexist. They called him down. He went to captain's mass, and I'm saying to myself, why isn't she here to defend herself? And that's when I finally realized, you know what? I got to say something because this is ridiculous. It's not fair that he's getting blamed for something he didn't do while she gets away scot-free.
Oh, that's amazing.
He wasn't there to defend himself either, correct?
Yeah, correct.
I have a problem with that, actually.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the last part is shocking in and of itself, but the aspect of what you're sharing about the military, there's an episode on our channel called At Ease Sergeant, and it was a gentleman that actually his division was the Marines, but he spoke a lot about the same things you're talking about. And he actually goes into depth about how the scenario is over there when you're stationed at these bases, in your case on a boat. But I would strongly suggest you'd love it. Go back there and take a look at that episode specifically, because he really lays it out on the line. He shines a light on exactly what you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm glad that you're able to take. I'm glad you're all able to take something that was, a tremendous negative experience for you, and really bring it forth and create something from that I believe going forward that you're really going to be able to help out a lot of guys. And just like you said, a lot of guys in your age bracket, which I think, in my opinion, the earlier guys can get exposed to the topics that you're going to talk about, books like The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi, sooner they can get their hands on that and have that, epiphany moment like you guys did, I think they'll be better for it.
Mm.
So, and I really commend you guys for taking this all on.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
The abbreviated version, please.
All right, so okay, how do I begin this? At the age of 19, 20 years old, I was in a relationship with a girl outside of college. We went to college together, and I was going to New York for college. We stayed in a relationship, long-distance relationship, for about 2 years, and after a while, the feminist mindset set in after 2 years. And at the third year, the MGTOW, I was watching, Coach Greg Adams, Donovan Sharp came in a little bit later in the relationship as it ended. And then I met this woman whom I had a crush on. We were hanging out and stuff like that. And I did not know that this woman actually, wanted to be physical with me while she was in a relationship with her boyfriend. And when I got rejected by her for a relationship, because I found out that she actually wanted to have sex with me, I withdrew my attention from her. And after a while, after 2 months, when I was making money and I was on productions and stuff like that, she asked the question that blew the red pill into my mind for the rest of my life. And she said the following words: "How come we don't talk anymore?" And I get that at 12:59 in the morning. I'll never forget it, because I had to go and get a glass of water, and I see my phone charging and it's blinking green, and I just look at it and I'm saying to myself, oh shit, like, okay, how come we don't talk anymore? I said, hold on. And then I'm going to sleep, and then I wake up and I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I look at this and I'm like, yo, I'm done with you. I'm sorry. I got to get out of here, and that's what kind of got me back in the like the NoFap, the working on myself, the building something from nothing and stuff like that. And I'm glad to be taking this journey, because it's time for us to start talking about certain things. And you know what, I aim to be organized with my guys, and again, they are annoyed at me and more than ever that I am very organized about my stuff. But but here's the thing about it: if you're not organized, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have something established, then of course it's going to fall apart. And I think where guys in their 20s mess up is that like they have a plan, they want to do it, but they lack the charisma, they lack the courage, and they lack the self-esteem to say to themselves, you know what, I can't do it. And you know what, like, and I say this, because I've been in a red pill for about maybe a year or 2 years now. It doesn't matter about the terms. It matters about you. It matters about if you're going to be that quote unquote alpha version of yourself, as Dr. BOA would like to say. And I've been watching his content for a long while now, and that's been getting me up every day, making sure that I get my shit together. Because guess what? Like it's almost time for me to get my shit together anyway.
Guys in your age, and I have to say this because I've lived it. And in my 20s, there's so much crap that can get you sidetracked.
Oh, yeah.
And for me,
Yes.
back when I was, 18, 19, 20, there was, the nightlife was a big distraction. And if, Von Erik, truth confessions here for everybody, they can record this. If I could say one thing that I would do over again, and I know I had a tremendous time promoting clubs and things like that. If I would have rather have spent less time and money and effort living in the bar club scene in my 20s and early 30s that I did, and work on something like this or something else, even, investing in property or having a forethought of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a tremendous thing that you guys can incorporate and focus on your podcasts with the audience you're going to get.
Oh yeah.
That is, don't be screwing around, wasting your time. I'm not saying you don't have to go out with your buddies, once a month or whatever, blow off steam.
Yeah, that's
fine. Go to a friggin' concert, whatever, rave out, do that thing.
Yeah,
but,
me and Man with the Plan, we actually play. We play instruments. We're in bands, and so it more or less we perform them rather than go to them. We perform rather than go.
Yeah, and my band actually just released an EP recently.
Oh, good for you. Which one of you guys is the bassist?
He's a bassist in his own band. I'm just a substitute. I'm a substitute bassist for certain bands like jazz bands and whatnot.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, you guys just happen to be talking to the world's worst bassist that ever picked up a 4-string. Sorry. Yeah, I'm terrible. Yeah, I tried. I sold everything that I had because it was just that bad. I tried.
Franklin, that's only like 4 strings, right?
Dude, it's only 4 strings.
What's the matter with you?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, Chris. It's okay to party, and yeah, I've been there. When I was in Brooklyn, I was studying. Don't get me wrong, but there are certain things that I'm gonna have to, and we're still. You know what? I think we're gonna have to have a long uncensored talk. I think that's going to be something that I put on the Patreon page. We're still making content because our Saturday shows are going to have to be on there. We're going to be doing 2001, Hey Arnold, the Valentine's Day special, like the good shit, shit of the 90s. Like I would, we're doing a lot of movies and stuff like that. We just did one that again got, deleted and stuff like that. And if people got requests for us when we get we get our stuff situated, of course we're going to be taking those kinds of requests. We will be building our online phone usage because we will be taking phone calls on the like Blog Talk or something like that. We still have to build that up, and it's not easy building a podcast from the ground up because it's a lot of work. And I think, that's how guys get discouraged a lot is that, you see the production, you see the red lens and you're looking at our shit and you're saying to yourself, well, how did these guys do this? And you're saying to yourself, well, how can I do this? And guess what? Like, anybody can make a podcast, but it's like, it takes planning. It takes time, time out of our schedules, which, I mean, we're all busy going back to work and whatnot. The quarantine here in New Jersey and New York, we're getting into phase 3. So that means probably, production, my camp is starting to get back up a little bit because we've been having, meetings and whatnot. But still, I'm still gonna promote this brand. I'm still gonna promote this podcast. I'm still gonna be talking about this stuff, and I'm gonna have my guys here because you know what, like like I've never been serious about anything in my life, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't been really serious about anything up until I got into theater and music and whatnot, and then someone dared me to make a podcast, and you know what, you can say I did this out of a dare. And that guy owes, and it's my mentor. He owes me $50, but he owes me $50 because I'm here and I'm doing it. But you know what? I said, I want to make a podcast that actually means something, and I want to make a podcast that people can relate to, and I want to make a podcast for that when that day comes, you can't get rid of it, and even if you do, like, people are gonna find the three of us talking about self-improvement and growing up. And I think that's what we need to do as young men, is grow the fuck up.
Good.
And it's funny, you just brought up a good point, and we're talking about beginnings here, beginnings for you guys. Actually, just today, it was found out online that a very popular author, and I mean, he does podcasting on the side. This guy, Stefan Molyneux, was completely deplatformed from YouTube. God.
Yeah, I just heard about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
Yeah. Recently, I saw the article.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Now,
Basis.
I don't know why it happened. There's conflicting reports. There's things that, he went very heavy in on race relations and what's going on out there in the world, and there may be something with that. I don't know. But my point being is that YouTube, the Facebooks of the world, you have to be cognizant of the climate that you're in.
Yeah.
And you're doing
Absolutely.
it by putting the other stuff on Patreon, that YouTube definitely would not like.
Yeah.
But there is that walking of the line that guys that are interested, that are thinking about doing this, watching you and I here talking about this. You have to be cognizant of how you are going to present your information.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Yes.
YouTube seems to evolve very oddly, and you have to expect the unexpected with them.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Right now, YouTube is just very completely biased to the point where back in the day you can upload anything. However, now it's very it has to fit their narrative, and if it's not their approved, then it's out. Which to me, then that defeats your entire mission statement.
Well, they got big now.
In the original package.
And the thing about it is that I used to upload in high school. I was with my friends when I had them. We would always post up we would edit cartoons and SpongeBob and whatnot. And what happened is that Viacom started knocking on our door, and I had to shut down the account because I was getting a lot of subscribers and whatnot. And that was like the dawn age of YouTube. I remember that, and I wish we can go back to that. But unfortunately, Silicon Valley is never going to go to that place ever again.
2008 YouTube.
And I knew, I knew exactly that YouTube was going to cut our episode of Steven Universe because we hit hard on Steven Universe and how that show was training kids to be training young men to be beta males. And if you've seen it, and I think Chris, you've seen it, that's a real show. It's a terrible show, and we knew exactly what was going to happen. I just didn't think it would happen 2 days after the fact. That
Franklin, he's right about this, because I saw this clip of this episode, because he's like, "Oh, could you take a look at this, see what this is all about?" My first reply to him was like, "Hey, who's doing the voiceovers? Like out of your group?" because it looked like it was like a cut and paste. Like I was like, I can't believe that these are actually voice actors talking this way. Like, you know, putting out that kind of content. I couldn't believe it.
No, seriously, I can give you after this, I'll give you the whole freaking episode. I can give you the whole freaking episode and you can watch that. And you'll be like the type of content that's being put out. Look, our content, it can get us fired, ridiculed, shamed in the streets. And we both live in the East Coast. But when these guys make content, it's like stunning, brave, diverse, and whatnot. Like I work with these guys, and it's just like I sit there in those meetings, and I say to myself, "Well, I guess I'm just here because I guess it's the color of my skin, not because I can speak or because I can not
the content of your character."
I guess I'm like, Jesus Christ, why the fuck am I here?
I'm like, oh, so you're just basically that token person in the room,
basically. And these shows I can't stomach this garbage. I was just watching before I came on the red lens. I was watching Cartoon Network again, and I said, "Jesus Christ, how the fuck do kids stomach this garbage?" Like, because we grew up with Hey Arnold and Rugrats and all that stuff. So like that was stomachable stuff. Ren and Stimpy was like on a whole nother level. But Jesus Christ,
Encourage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, that show.
We had Toonami. I mean, we grew up basically in the beginning of the anime phase with Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Okay. That was our generation. And of course, our parents, our mothers and fathers, they had to pay because we had to have everything. But nowadays, the animation industry, such as Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, it is pushing this narrative that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And we see that.
What I don't like about all of this is just like, people are gassing this kind of stuff up, acting the way they do, like in that Steven Universe episode we went over. They're like, "Oh my god, this is so cute. I would love for a man to do this." But in reality, if that actually happened, they would probably cringe.
Yeah.
I'd cringe looking at that.
I'm a big comic book movie guy, and what they're attempting to do in Marvel in Phase 4, a big believer in not screwing around with the source material. And when you change Thor to a woman, and
if it ain't broke, don't fix it,
into a different, totally different ethnicity, like comic books are the best source material to produce anything because everything's written for it. The characters are all right. There's nothing to interpret when you're taking a comic book to the movie.
Yeah, and I think
they find ways of doing it.
And I think that's what when we bought up, like Red Sings the Blues, like what we're gonna do. I said, dude, we're gonna have to review a lot of movies and stuff like that because it got to that point where art as an escapist type of thing, where like in the past you can escape watching a TV show, going to theater and whatnot, but as of now, like, it's all political. It's all an agenda, and we got tired of it. Like, if we can't constructively criticize your work as artists and human beings ourselves, then why are you making content in the first place? And we see that reason why. Like, this is why, Donovan Sharp is the best guy out there doing that type of stuff, and we want to be the second.
The one thing that I like you said, with things being so politically correct and woke, and it's kind of hurting the industry, because when movies were bad, they were bad, and no one sugarcoated them. Like the Daredevil movie from 2003, nobody sugarcoats that.
That was a guilty pleasure, though.
Yeah, it's entertaining to watch just because of like how cringy everything is, and you just like, you can't believe what's in that film, but you're honest about it. People these days, they can't be honest about a single movie. Like if you say something bad about Birds of Prey, it's like, oh, you're sexist, you hate women. And the same thing with the Ghostbusters movie that came out recently. It's like they just weren't well written, and you have to be honest about that.
But God forbid you give Joker any form of leeway. God forbid. Like, entertainment is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be in your face political, and it's gotten to a point where like now movies are becoming even more feminist and all the men are beta and whatnot, and it's gotten to that point where, you know what, we're going to start criticizing the hell out of these things. And you know what, and you know what, it was because, you know what, I would say the 90s was the last era for masculinity, and the 2000 and what ended masculinity itself was like 1999's Columbine. That was literally the cry for help. It was just, after that, like, masculinity has been demonized forever. And we're gonna, and you know what, and that's just the thing about it. You know, art has just become another way of saying fuck men. Because I go to, you know, in New York, you can't escape it. Like, you're in New York City, right, man? You're
The Joker basically salted the wound.
Oh my God! Like, you know, like, and it pains me in the entertainment industry that, you know, I have to shut up about these types of things, because I you know what, if you can't criticize it, then what's the point of making it? It just, and you know what, the entertainment that you're seeing right now is creating the demon that you so hate, the beta male, the I would say the beta male, the red pill guy, the black pill, the incel. These are the type of people. These are the type of people that you want to get rid of, right? These are the type of people that you don't want, but yet you're telling everybody else to shut up and watch our shit, because this is what we are dealing with. This is what the society is dealing with. This is what we have to, you know, destroy. And the question is, how are you going to destroy it?
It's mostly it's selfish, because they think that everybody wants to see this, but no, they don't want to see it. For instance, that new comic, the Marvel's New Warriors, with Snowflake, Safe Space, Trailblazer, which is a ripoff of Dora the Explorer. Come on.
Stanley would be rolling in his grave if he saw the way that movie was handled and the way that Captain Marvel was handled, and just the way that Marvel's being handled in general now. He would be rolling in his grave.
It's this entire narrative of Hollywood being too woke, and they're pushing this down and shoving it down our throats. It's like, at the end of the day, we're not the ones who are losing money. They are, because they're the ones who are blowing their budget and not receiving what they want to get in the box office.
In fact, won't
go broke.
In fact, we're getting followers because we're actually ballsy enough to actually record it and put it on Patreon. Not yet, guys. We're still working on that. But we're ballsy enough to say, you know what, we're gonna review this movie. We're gonna open up the phone lines, get your thoughts on it.
Now, Franklin, I want to get your impression of these guys, and where, you know, what's your opinion on, you know, what they're trying to do, where they're coming from.
I've never been surrounded by such, how do you say this, such intelligence before. I mean, it's just that damn simple. Okay? When I was their age,
oh man,
okay, I was acting like I was 10. Okay, it's just that simple. All right. There's hope for everybody now.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could just say that there are more. Are there more like you? Okay.
I would hope so.
Yes, there are.
I would hope so.
There are.
There has to be.
For people I know, yeah, there are people.
That's great, because now there's this faith in humanity.
I will say, because I met them. I was working at the shop in Bergen County, and oh my God, I kid you not. I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to say anything. But when I was at that shop and we were making, you know, this set for a show that we did, we had a lunch, and oh my God, the guys that you never thought would be like the three of us, like the five of us, like I feel sorry for the guys that I work with, because they understand what we're saying, and they understand that it's just like, oh God. I was like, oh God, when I heard them say the same shit that we're saying, it was just like, they're suppressed. We're suppressed. We cannot live in a world that is suppressing not only the freedom of speech, not only the freedom of expression, but the freedom to be men. I think it was either Skid Row or I forget. No, Twisted Sister. We're not gonna take it. Basically, this is the manosphere. This is the red pill. All of us in Twisted Sister going, we're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it.
Teach these young kids something.
Yeah, well, that's my town, Chris.
There you go.
That's closer to us.
This is this is like this is our rebellion. This is literally the rebellion of not only common sense but masculinity. This is I'm not saying this is masculinity's last stand, but this is masculinity's like flag, like, you know, burning flag. Like the feminists are burning masculinity up, and guess what? That's biting them in the ass. They can't find that. They're the ones writing articles about them not finding men. They're on OkCupid and Bumble saying, "Well, we're all the good men." I don't know. You can't.
You push them all away.
Well,
you push them all away.
It's biting them in their ass, though, right? Their ever widening ass. But you didn't hear that, so.
In closing, I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave you guys with this on your, you know, to take along with you. Number one, if you're going to be on YouTube, just make sure about the demonetizations. You know, with
definitely.
With the F-bombs and whatever else and that. But you're so right about, you know, society pushing, and it's going to be guys like you that are going to be the force that pushes back. Yeah. And I think that's what's important. You know, I think that's what's really important for, you know, guys like you and guys that are out there watching this now, that are thinking about doing, you know, taking up the mantle of doing what you're embarking on. That's what's important. I want to thank you guys, each and every one of you, for coming on here.
Oh, no, the pleasure's all ours, man.
Honestly.
And if there's anything that we can do, you know, if you have something that, you know, you're producing and you want to come on and talk about it, sure, by all means, you know, let me know, and, you know, we'll get that done for you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.